Okay. Okay, Lucius. How are you? How is life going?
Keeping fine these days in Sri Lanka. There are so many circumstances that we need to face out, but yes, we are managing our lives within the crisis situations anyhow.
Okay. So, what is the present condition in Sri Lanka right now? Everything is going better?
Uh, yes, somewhat better after the president left, but we can't hope and we can't give a clear picture because the political arena is not stable yet. There are a few reforms that the government or the parliamentaries, the members of the parliament is trying to make,
Mm.
and we are keeping hope upon them, but still we can't say what will happen. We are just keeping our hope upon the parliamentarians that we have appointed. That's it. This is up to the uh, current context.
Did this situation uh, affect your current job, or did you have any kind of impact on your current job due to this?
That's like this. Yes, yes, the situation affected the jobs, but not up to the level that the or the company or my employee had to come up upon layouts of employees. But yes, it affected the business in a terrible way because we are into an FMCG business. We are the second largest FMCG company in Sri Lanka, and we are running our businesses within the local context, the Sri Lanka, with the Sri Lankan market. So for this, we need to bring out our raw materials and all the stuff from abroad. So we need dollars. So without dollars, it was a very terrible situation that we had to earn dollars from the from whatever the places that we have dollars in the country. Then the other thing was the transportation, because there's a huge fuel crisis within the country. There was no way to transport or deliver our goods towards the customers, and even for our employees, uh, it was very difficult to find out petrol and diesel to come out with for them to come to the factory. And also it with the power cuts, we need to run out our generators. So for that also, finding fuel was not so easy. Anyhow, it made out different kinds of opportunities for us, where most of the employees they were towards buying new food cycles where they can use it to come to work. And we have brought out residential models where employees can come to the factory, stay at the factory for about a week or two, whatever the period that they want, and work from the factory. And again, we came out with large scale community engagement projects where we develop many community engagement projects to engage our community or the people around the factory premises. We came out with distributing essential goods for them, and a company vehicle is running out towards the general hospital at any need of the village. So if there's a patient at the village who is very ill or is in a critical situation, we from the company's prevailing amount of fuel or the diesel amount, we run one of our vehicles as an ambulance service for the village. So we try to get in with the community and try to share whatever the things that we have and to run the business with the current context. So I can say that yes, the current situation affected the business, but we are trying to find out solutions. We are trying to help others, and we are trying to get the help from them as well, and to run out the business in a smooth environment anyhow. So that's the situation. So,
Thank you. Thank you for the detailed picture. Anyway, so Lucius, could you please tell something about yourself?
right. So I'll just break this into just four main parts so that it will be very clear to you, and it will be easy for me as well. I'll just talk about my experience in the education, uh, then about what the professional qualifications that I have. Education and professional qualification is a little bit different. So, and then about my very personal stuff, about my personal life. So, starting from my experience, I started my career in the year of yes 2015 as an intern or in-plant trainee at one of the large-scale manufacturing companies, an apparel manufacturing company in Sri Lanka. It was Polytex Garments Limited, a subsidiary of the world-renowned SQL Group. So training ended up here from 6 months, and I was into mainly ER and IR, which is employee relations and industry relations, plus all the employee life cycle or general HR administrative functions such as employee registrations, all the legal and admin parts, looking after welfare facilities, such things I was trained. So then I got the opportunity to join the largest Sri Lankan apparel manufacturer, which is MAS Holdings, uh, as a trainee again. So 6 months at Polytex Garments, finishing that, I'll join MAS as a trainee for the HR department, the intern. So there I got the opportunity to train within the fields of learning and development, social sustainability, which was into two main parts, which is employee sustainability and the CSR, or the corporate social responsibilities, right? Uh, then within this time period at MAS, I got absorbed to the permanent cadre upon my performance. So here I worked as an assistant for a time period, assistant within the HR department, and then got promoted as an executive within the same department. Uh, so started as an intern, then an assistant, and then got promoted as an executive. So here the main job roles were same. I was into social sustainability, where I looked after employees on one hand. There were two main programs running out for employees, which was WGB, the Women Go Beyond program, because 90% of our cadre were women. And then there was another program very specific for employees, which was
Hello.
general administration stuff, plus learning and development. These are the three fields that I manage at MAS. Then after MAS, I joined Navaloka Holdings, which is one of the largest Sri Lankan construction companies. We had around 52 sites, all island, within the island, distributed within the island. So here I worked as an assistant manager for project and system development. So basically, I had to set out SOPs and policies for the company, and to visit all these sites and to implement these policies and SOPs which I have developed. So that's what I did at Navaloka, a very little period at Navaloka, nearly 1 year. So I got an opportunity then where I was at Navaloka from Hemas Manufacturing Private Limited, which is my current employer. So here I got selected as an assistant manager, as I told. Here I'm overlooking three manufacturing facilities, which is the soap manufacturing facility, the personal care manufacturing facility, as well as the sanitary napkin manufacturing facility. Within the same complex, we have three manufacturing facilities, which consists with around 800 plus employees. And I overlook the central warehouse, which is our central distribution center as well. So this is a snapshot about my experience. Now, turning towards my education qualifications, I am a master in business administration, and uh, now recently I just started a bachelor's in law program, or LLB program, where I have around another 9 months to complete the program. So that's to get an extra qualification in law. And turning towards the professional qualifications, I am a member of this Chartered Institute of Personal Management Sri Lanka, where I have done my chartered qualification in personal human resource management. Then my professional qualifications in human resources management from the same institute, which is the country's leading human resource management institute. Then I'll just, and also plus I'm a certified internal auditor for ISO 45000 2018. Then turning towards my personal stuff, I'm married, and myself, my wife, and my mom are living together. So that's a very brief about myself.
Okay, thank you so much, just for your nice introduction. So, my first question would be, um, when you are asked to develop a policy, okay, so
Okay,
what do you consider in the very beginning?
right. That's like this. So developing a policy, you need to have many aspects in line. So the first aspect that you should look after is whether your policy is aligning with the country's uh, prevailing laws and regulations. So some of the policies you need to develop aligning with the laws and regulations of the country. You can't breach any law or regulation. So the other one is whether the policy that you are developing is ethically in line with the country's requirements or the company's requirements, and whether it's ethical to have that policy in the company. So some policies, if you come out with, I'll give an example. So uh, now I'll bring out a very simple example. There's a dress code policy. So now coming throughout the dress code policy, whether it's ethical to have some dresses out of this policy, because in Sri Lanka we wear sarongs, we wear some different kinds of attires which are aligned with the social society or the culture within the country. So in a construction company also, people are more often tend to wear these uh, suits. So now when developing the policy, I need to see whether it's ethical to say not to wear these attires, right? So first thing is aligning with the laws and regulations of the country, then whether to see whether it's ethical, and then I need to come up with the requirement of the company, plus whether there's any buyer or whatever the contractor or the consultant of the company's requirements. So and at last I want to see about whether this is implementable, or whether we can implement this policy towards our target crowd. So these are the main four factors that I see that I should look after in developing the policy. Plus, you can see upon industrial best practices, or the ways that the industry works, and then come upon the policy. So first thing is to identify the need of the company, to see whether it's aligned with the laws and regulations of the country, to see whether it's ethical, to come up with the with some aspects of the policy, and yeah, to see whether it's covering all the requirements of the buyers, all the stakeholders of the company, and to see whether it's implementable towards the target crowd that we are going to implement the policy. So those are the main four factors I'll be considering.
Okay, very good, nice answer. So, Lucius, so can you tell me the policy you have recently developed, and what kind of challenges did you face when you
Yeah.
developed the policy?
Yes. So I'll come up with a single policy. So what I implemented at Nowlove Holding. So this was we at Nowlove Holdings, we didn't have a time and attendance policy. So or attendance policy for the company. So I had to develop a policy. So uh, most of the companies, we don't need to have policies, but the company need to have a policy for the employee attendance, right? So now coming up with the policy, uh, it I developed the policy up to the requirements of the country's law and considering those factors that I told before. And this policy, after developing policy, we had 52 sites around the country, right? Now it comes to the most difficult part or the most challenging part, where the management of the company or the topmost management, including the CEO, they wanted the policy to be implemented very soon within the across all the sites or the all the construction sites. But implementing a policy, developing policy within the head office or within the corporate office doesn't make sense towards uh, the people who are working in sites. So it's just a policy that we develop at a corporate office, but we need to bring out those policies towards the groundmost level or the operation level of the company. So now this is the challenging part. Now we need to go towards each site to make employees aware about these policies, to talk with them, to train them about these policies, and to make sure that they are adhering to the policies, right? So this is the most challenging part, and plus it takes some time for them to adapt to the policy because it's a new policy. Now it takes some time for them to adapt to the policy, but the management of the company, the employees are downmost level, the management are the topmost level. So management expects quick and firm results from this policy. So there's a disparity upon these two because it takes a little bit of time for the employees to adhere and to train them, to make them aware, and to bring up straight away with the policy. But the management, they want these things to come soon as possible. So now the challenge for the person who is implementing the policy and who is developing the policy is to settle down or to bring these two gaps up to one level and to uh, have a firm understanding upon how the policy works upon both the parties, the management as well as the employees. We need quick results and we communicate it. We make the employees aware. We take prompt actions so that the employees are aligned with the policies. And from on the other hand, the management, we need to convince them that this takes a little bit of time to give the best results of it. So there's some utmost challenge that I faced in implementing almost all policies. But yes, I managed to bridge that understanding gap to convince both parties and to implement the policies very well at the company, which are running now also in a good status within those companies.
So how do you ensure the attendance? Like, do you use any software? For example, in corporate office or any branch office, it is very easy to uh, implement or install any attendance device or something like that. But in the ground
Yes.
level, how do you check the attendance status? How do you get the result actually?
All right. Right. Okay. Now let's take the same policy, the attendance policy, so it's easy to explain. Uh, Now develop the policy within the corporate office. We didn't have an attendance system actually. Now we had devices at sites, few devices, few fingerprint devices at each site, and the problem was there was no method to develop interconnect these two uh, officers, the site and the corporate office. There was no method to interconnect these two parts. So the first thing that we did was just bring out a software, a HRI system to interconnect these two parts, which was done by the IT, purely by the IT section, and they supported us with that. To overlook and to ensure, we had a HR representative, which is the administrative officer at each site, so that the most of the HR parts are overlooked by this administrative officer, right? So the thing that he or she was doing is marking the attendance manually in a book and sending the summary of the attendance towards the head office at the end of the month to make the payroll, right? Though it was a very leading construction company, this was a practice. However, now after implementing this policy, the administrative officers had to make sure that each and every employee is punching their fingerprint within the given fingerprint devices, and they wanted to ensure that in a daily basis to the head office, where we just had a simple mechanism of sending a mail. We just get the details of the employees who had their fingerprints, and we can easily find out who haven't kept their fingerprints on that day. So we just used a simple format and communicated them on each day. This was just like something like a game that we initiated for all the administrative officers at each site. So we send out from, let's say, there's 100. So from 100 today, only 50 has kept their fingerprints, right? So it's a very sad thing that your site is going down. So the other side, you done superb work. You have come up. 95% of employees have kept their fingerprint, and these are the members who haven't kept their fingerprints. So from this way, we just ensured that the very simple aspect of the policy. There was a broad area within the policy, but within coming to the single aspect, we ensured that the people are more enthusiastic for this operation. And also we had visits for each site in a monthly basis. Every time we visit the site, we just aware the employees about keeping their fingerprints, and if not keeping their fingerprint, what are the adverse effects that they'll have to face upon. They'll just get a pay cut. We don't know whether they came for work, and it's very good for their health as well as safety aspects, because if something happens at the site, we don't know whether he or she came for work. So if you keep your fingerprint, it's ensured that you have come to work, and the company is liable on whatever the things that happen to you. So bringing out these small awareness programs also supported us to ensure that the policy is running smoothly within each and every site.
Okay, so for example, each morning you check from the corporate office or head office, you check how many people have punched uh,
Yes.
their finger, and you get a report
Yes.
in the software that for example, 90% people have punched their uh,
Yes.
fingers. So
Exactly. Yes.
maybe there are some people who haven't come to the site. Okay, maybe
Yes.
they're on leave or maybe they're absent. So what do you instruct to the administrative representative there? So it's what they actually check. For example, 90% people have punched in one side, for example, and 5 people actually are on leave or maybe they're absent. So only 5% people, 5 people, only 5 people, they actually didn't punch, and other 5 people, they are not there. So how do you differentiate this thing? So what reports do they, what they actually inform? So the 5 people are on
Right.
leave, or what actually, how do you manage these things? I'm not very
Okay.
clear about it. That's why I'm asking.
Yes. 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 I just got it now. I just told that keeping fingerprints is just one aspect. So there were another few aspects that we looked upon. We needed to bring down the absenteeism as well, and to motivate them upon applying leave. If they are getting a leave, so they need to apply leave in prior hand. So we just had four main aspects. If they are not applying for leave, it might be a sudden sickness or something. Sudden sickness for you or for someone within your near family, or likewise we had few aspects. So now if 50% of people kept their fingerprint, another 50% haven't kept their fingerprint, so there might be three reasons. Sometimes they might have forget their fingerprint results to punch their fingerprint, or they might be absent, or they might be on leave.
Mm.
So now let's get if an employee is on leave.
Mm.
Now there was a aligning with this same policy. There was another aspect that the administrative officers had to update leave in a prior basis within each site, And if you update your leave now, if tomorrow I won't come, the employees need to communicate it to the administrative officer. So that's a part of the policy. If you communicate it, the administrative officer, there's a cheat, a leave card, so that you sign that and give to the administrative officer with the authorization of your supervisor, so that the administrative officer should update that leave on that same day, right? And there was leave
How
calendar also.
actually, how the administrative officer update? Did he use the software to update, or he when he
Yes, yes,
received
yes, yes, yes. The software.
they use the software? Okay, okay, I
Yes,
understand. I understand the total process. So, do you
right,
look after payroll, and uh, do you have any involvement with the payroll processing?
right. So within Navlok, I didn't handle the payroll,
Hmm.
and yes, I didn't handle the payroll at Navlok, but yes, I just had to overlook the payroll process at Navlok, and as well as at HEMAS, I'm authorizing the payroll at the final end. I won't go on with the payroll. There's a payroll executive, but I need to sign off the payroll as the finalist. So that's how
Okay,
it
so
goes on
how do
at
you
now.
check? What do you check? Because you are not directly involved with the payroll processing or anything like that, but you authorize the payroll, final payroll uh, processing or anything. So, what do you check
Right.
when you sign?
Right. The few aspects that I checked when signing off the payroll is I just I just within software also I have to sign off where I have the authority to go upon now let's say it's myself. So if checking my salary, I just go on a random basis, just say check two or three people's salary and the attendance where the calculations are made, and that's in a very random basis, and check whether their previous month salaries are also the same. And if it's a new recruit, I just have an insight upon the days of work. So checking few random employees who have joined newly and few long-standing employees as well. So from that point onwards, I just can come to an insight that whether the salary is up to a standard or not. So it's purely on a random basis that I'm checking the payroll. So and also at each department, uh, now say with it's a manufacturing department, so the manufacturing head should sign off the payroll first, and then it comes to my end. So with that reliability and with that trust upon that uh, head of the manufacturing, because there are three main pillars that they should pass to hand over the payroll to me. It's the payroll executive, then the supervisor level of that relevant plant, and the manufacturing head, and then it comes to the HR person, which is me. So I have to come upon with this. But anyhow, I just go on with a random basis to check out of not each employee, but 5 to 10 employees. I just check in random basis with long-standing employees, newly recruited employees, and few other random employees. See whether the salary is up to standard. And also, uh, I go on with some employees who are vacated from post. There are employees who are vacated from post, as well as there are employees who get absent, which is very clear. And I know about these employees, which is it's just popular within the department. So also checking out the salaries of these employees also give me a clear insight. Another thing that I check is the card that I have within the company. At each department, I have this with myself. So manufacturing department, it has 63 employees. So the personal care manufacturing department. So if there's a count which is overrunning this 63 employees, and if there's a very much uh, impressive or drastical change of these two cardam matching, or if it's 60, or if there's something very much more, I just question about these things. So that's how I sign off the
Okay,
payroll.
okay,
uh,
okay. Just thank you,
yes.
thank you. I've got your point. So there are a lot of functions of human resource, and most of the functions are very important, like recruitment, like training,
Yes.
performance management, reverse management. So from your perspective, what do you feel is the most important function of human resource?
Right. The most important function of human resource is that there's no single most important function of human resource. We are there just to align our employees towards the organizational goal and objective. So that's the utmost duty of the HR professional. So to align employees towards the organizational goal and development. So here we have to make out a few uh, contributions towards the company. First is, I'll just divide it into four main parts. First is to attract the employees who are capable of uh, being with the company and coping up with the company's culture, as well as uh, providing their best service to the company where the company can achieve their expected goals. So recruitment selection is one of the most important factors that uh, we need to have within the company. The second one is development. The first pillar was attraction. So in the attraction pillar, you need to have recruitment, whatever selection, hiring, placing, all these things comes towards the attraction pillar. I'll just divide it into four main
Okay,
parts as I told.
I got
So
you.
yes, the second
Sure.
one is development.
Okay, so what do you think about the most important qualities of a HR leader? Can you tell in a very?
Sorry, I didn't get you. Sorry.
My question is, what do you feel the most important qualities of HR leader?
Quality,
Qualities, yeah.
right. So the most important quality for HR person is you should be firm and fair. The HR person needs to be fair and you need to be very firm. So the employees needs or whatever the person, they should keep their trust upon you, and they should believe that the HR profession is very fair, and that the HR person won't turn their back upon you. And yes, and you should be very firm as well. These two aspects, it should be firm and fair.
Sorry. So, Lucius, it was really nice talking to you. So, I was really
Yes.
enjoying the conversation. As you know, this is the very beginning
Okay.
of this recruitment process. So once you are shortlisted in this round, you'll be contacted for
Okay.
the second round of the interview. Okay. So I wish you a very good luck for the next round.
Thank you.
Okay, listeners, take care.
Thanks, sir.
Bye.
Thank you very much. Thank you. It was nice to speak as well.